Since I'm doing Vlogmas, but I'm also filming some like regular style videos, I thought I'd do a little bit of a behind the scenes for some of my regular videos. So when I do get readies with me, like that sounds really weird, a get ready with me video, a video where I'm just sitting doing my makeup, I do it here. This is my kitchen table. This table is like from IKEA and it is probably 15 years old at this point or more. I need a proper kitchen table. Same with those chairs, they're IKEA chairs. But yeah, I set up this sometimes. I don't always do this because you can see, like there's my kitchen, there's my table. Like it takes up all the space. Hi, yeah, Mama's gonna film. Hi, buddy. He just had a snack. Hopefully he will go chill for a bit while I film. So yeah, I just basically get everything set out here. I grab some makeup from my den. I set my laptop up. There's my mirror. And here's my camera. I have a really old camera, at least by like YouTube standards. It's a Canon EOS T6i. And then this is my mic. I really like this mic. For me, the mic was a game changer. It's a cheaper one than a Robe. It's a Deity one and it works really well for me. So I'd like to upgrade that camera. Well, at least maybe the lens at some point. But yeah, this is, let me back up a little bit. This is the setup. This is what I'm working with. This is the behind the scenes. Hi, it's Anne here, and today's video is a get ready with me. I am just doing my makeup today. Nothing super special. I just wanted to film this and do it on camera. I specifically want to use this palette. I really only want to use one shade in this palette. This particular one that like I never ever use. It's called Peach Passion. Smells really good. And then I'll probably flip over and use stuff from this. This is the Too Faced Natural Lust palette. So I'm kind of just going with a Too Faced eyeshadow look today. I really enjoy this palette and yeah, I want to play with this too. So we're going to try and figure something out to combine those two. I've already got the hair back, so I'll zoom you in and we'll get started on the look. So I'm just going to start off with using the NARS Soft Matte Concealer in Creme Brulee, just to sort of blank out any color, any veins and stuff on my eyes, just a little bit. It's a little bit of a primer as well, but I am going to put on eyeshadow primer. I'll try and mention every product that I'm using, but if I don't mention it, it'll be down below. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, good middle of the night if you're having a case of insomnia. I've been there. Whenever you're watching this, I hope you're doing well. It is December. I can't believe it's December. I mean, everybody says that. I definitely feel like as you get older, time goes by faster. I also feel like when I started filming, I see time in like phases of filming now. So like December is a time when I'm like finishing up all my project pans, and this year I'm attempting to do Vlogmas, sort of. I can't vlog every day. I just, A, don't have an exciting life to do that. B, don't have the time. I would love to do it every day, but it's just not gonna happen. So I'm trying to at least publish a video every day. And probably about half of the videos will be vlogs. Up front, maybe not so much because I have a lot of like pre-scheduled stuff like the project pan and that. But once those are kind of done, and then from there on, I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I've sort of mentally planned out some videos for about 3 weeks. It kind of takes me around to like December 18th-ish or so. So I'm hoping I can do that. I mean, my first goal is like, I was like, okay, goal number 1 is 5 days of videos, which I've already got that. That's under the belt by the time you see this. Sorry, I need to move my mirror. I'm like, where am I? I can't see. I'm just adding a bit of it's the shade Silk Robe from the Too Faced Lust palette, just to kind of, again, set that a little bit. And then we'll go in with that Peach Passion shade. Don't really know how I want to do this. Let's swatch it. Let's swatch it and see. It's pretty soft. Sometimes these shades feel a little bit dry. I mean, it's got a little bit of dryness to it. this is what it looks like. I kind of want to throw it all over the lid. So let's do that. So yeah, once you've seen this video, I think I will have the little like behind the scenes part as an intro. If not, I'll throw it in at the end. I don't know when I'll throw that in and what makes sense. Yeah, so I'm attempting to do Vlogmas. I'm a little... I wasn't going to talk about this. I don't have any list. I usually have like a list of things that I want to talk about today. I'm like, you know what, we're just going to wing it. Because I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. Because I've been vlogging a little bit, so it's like, well, what do I talk about? I've been vlogging. I did say in my first vlog that, you know, I kind of put it out in the universe that it would be great to reach 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year, which was like a huge stretch goal because I don't gain that many in general per month. I've now lost subscribers, so I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's fine. You know, as they say, it is what it is, and I'd rather have... You guys know who you are, the ones that watch my videos and I watch your videos, or like comment with you. I'd rather have people that enjoy my content than just like a whack load of subscribers who don't really engage. I'd rather have more quality than quantity. So that was kind of a little sad. And then I felt like I ended up cutting out a lot of that I talked about with the whole giveaway thing because I was trying not to be super negative. Giveaways are hard. And I want to do a good job, but I need to be realistic, and people that enter giveaways need to be realistic. Like, some places it's hard to ship to, and I don't have the means to do certain things. So, anyway, that was a bit of a weird tangent in that video, and I do want to apologize because I was trying not to be super negative about it, because giveaways should be fun. But I think after this month, I'm going to reconsider. I don't know if I'll do much in the way of giveaways. So yeah, Vlogmas, December, Christmas. For me, it's Christmas. I was raised Catholic. I feel like I've mentioned that before. I'm not a practicing Catholic. I don't really want to get into the religion talk too much. I guess, you know, and like I am open to, you know, people, you can believe whatever you believe. Like, that doesn't bother me. My thing is, like, just don't push it on me. Like I said, I was raised Catholic, so that's, like, that was shoved down my throat. At times, it felt like. And, like I said, not practicing Catholic. There's a lot about the Catholic Church I really disagree with. I think I've talked about this before. The thing that really used to bug me as a kid was all my brothers were altar boys. I wasn't allowed to be an altar boy, and that just ticked me right off. I'm like, what kind of religion is this where we're not treated equally? It really irritated me a lot as a kid, and that's kind of a foundational theme that I feel like. But anyway, like, I mean, I appreciate the church in terms of, like, you know, I know that I have a friend that's, you know, really active, and she does a lot of really good stuff, and, you know, taking things in isolation. There's really good people that are involved in the church. And it's funny, I do think about when we were really little, we used to go to a church in Brampton, and our whole family would go. Like, we would go with, like, my grandmother, I never call her that, my granny. I might need to go wipe that off. We'd go with, like, my granny. I think my aunt and uncle sometimes used to come. And it would be so busy, so full that they had, like, this back room that they would just, like, audio it into the room. It's like, that was always, like, a weird but good memory in a way. Like, to me, that was so Christmassy. But yeah, I'm curious to know, what are your, like, Christmas traditions, and have they changed? I feel like over time, and as your family dynamic changes, things have changed. Like, when we were little, it used to rotate. Like, we'd go to one aunt one year, like aunt and uncle, another aunt and uncle another year. We would host it, and sometimes my dad's parents would come, and then eventually that all, like, faded away. One aunt and uncle moved away, like, pretty far, and then my other aunt and uncle kind of moved closer to them, and then it was just a bit weird. But eventually that all sort of faded away. I think, you know, kids get older. For me, like, I loved Christmas. Like, when we were little, we were very lucky. We were that typical 80s family where, I mean, it wasn't like exorbitant types of gifts, but we got gifts that we wanted. I think I'm gonna go in, what shade do we have here? So we've got 2 shades that are similar. Maybe I won't use the Too Faced Lash palette. So we've got Peach Ice. They're not similar at all. Peach Ice from White Chocolate palette. And then this sort of like topper shade that doesn't swatch very well, called Love Spark. I think I kind of want to go in with that white shade, the Peach Ice shade, for inner corner to like lighten some of that up. So yeah, we were very lucky when we were little. Like, I remember, you know, gift wrap all over the place, getting the toys that I wanted. Again, we didn't get like crazy toys, like, you know, kids that would get like, what do you call those? Like the remote control, the little cars that like you could drive. What are they called? I can't even think what they're called. Like, we didn't get gifts that were like out of control, but we got a lot of stuff when we were little, which, you know, was really good memories. I do remember I got I don't know what it was part of, but there was a Barbie stamp in one of the things, and I stamped all of our Christmas decorations with a Barbie stamp. I was really bad like that. I think I talked about this. I like drew on the inside of my dad's van too. I just wanted to be creative, make the world a beautiful place. But yeah, really good memories as a little kid. When we moved up north, so I talk about up north all the time in our home up north. We moved up when I was about 12, 13. Things kind of changed then. That's when we stopped sort of the family getting together. It was a bit more difficult. Everybody's getting older, spread out. And then I feel like around that time, like, my brothers were teenagers, they started really getting super cynical about Christmas. It made me really sad, because I was still like, I would say I was still like into the super Christmas vibe. Like, I literally could not sleep. Even if I wanted to, it was like involuntarily, I would wake up early on Christmas to like my mid-20s. And then I think that's when the cynicism for the holidays kind of settled in for me. And there was a part of me that wishes we could go back. Like, there's a part of me that wishes we had these big family holidays. You know, you see stuff on TV, you see stuff like people's vlogs. Like, I think that's one thing too. Like, I do watch some other people's vlogs because they're like, they've got family and kids and they're like doing all the like traditional Christmassy kind of stuff. And I like to like join them on that. But there was a time in my life where I was kind of sad that I felt like I was missing out on that. I don't feel that way anymore. I'm happy with how we are. We have a pretty chill Christmas. The past few years have been different, obviously, because Panini, but typically my family comes here. A couple years ago, we went to Niagara Falls. I don't make dinner. We go out. Yeah, I'm just gonna use on the grill and maybe deepen the outer corner a little bit. So yeah, we're really going with the white peach palette today. It was not the original intention, but that is how we're going. So yeah, like, I appreciate that we have a pretty chill holiday. We're not big gift givers. I mean, in previous years, like, for example, like, I went back to school, like, I don't have any money to get anybody anything. And so, like, we've always been pretty small on the gift giving side. It's not really a big, like, even for birthdays, like, our family is not big gifters. That's why I don't bother doing like a gift guide video, because I wouldn't know what to buy. I mean, I know things that would be really cool, but I'm always funny. I feel always funny about gifts. Like, I get people stuff sometimes, and then I get panicky about it, especially like when they're opening it, and I'm like, this was a dumb idea, this was a dumb idea. Like, I get super excited about buying the gift and putting it together, and then I get like paranoid when I give it to them. Like, this is dumb, why did I do this? That's always been a thing in the past for me with relationships too. Never knowing what level of gifting is appropriate. Again, like I said, my family's not big gifters, so I never know what to do. And I feel like I've really messed that up in the past multiple times. That's another thing. Again, don't want to go too much into that, but this time of year and relationships for me has been a disaster. Majority of my relationships like dissolve December, January. Like, I would say the majority, or at least 50% of them, have dissolved around this time of year. And I'm like, is it me? What did I do? But it's, you know, for a while there, it was kind of like a negative time of year for me. But it's sort of, like I said, it's sort of changed again. It's more of I feel like it's more of a calmer time. It used to be a bit of a busier, crazier, stressful time. I don't find the holidays. Again, I'm not running around to like a bunch of different houses, to different families and all that kind of stuff. I kind of like that it's super chill, that we don't really do anything. We see each other, we hang out, but there's no expectation of like, I don't know, this big thing. Okay, I'm gonna go in and do foundation and primer first. We're gonna just use this primer because it's in my project pan. It's the Hello Fab Pores Be Gone Matte Primer. I'll finish up the eyes in a bit. I always do this how I do my videos. I do like part of the eyes first and then do my face, because I do like sort of under the eyes and then I finish the under eye part. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's how I do it. Yeah, I'm curious to know, like, what do you guys do? What is your like traditional things? Like, I have my own, instead of like family tradition, I mean, I've talked about it in my vlogs already, the like little care packages. I'd say that's like the family tradition. We go out for like a lunch or a dinner. We don't cook anymore. That's like a family tradition. My personal little traditions, like I decorate at my little tree. Foundation is going to be this one. I haven't used this one in a while. It's the Missha Perfect Cover BB Cream. I don't think the shade is right for me. I think that's the problem with this foundation. One of the reasons why I don't really love it. I feel like the shade is a little off. Like, it's not bad, but it's not great. Like, I don't love this nearly as much as Jessica Braun loves it, and I feel like, yeah, it's maybe a shade issue. I always watch certain Christmas movies. So, Muppet Christmas Carol, one of my absolute favorite movies. I just love the Muppets, and the Muppet Christmas Carol is like quintessential Muppet humor, plus the Christmas Carol movie, like her story, which I really enjoy that story, because my second favorite, or I'd say my favorite movie, like favorite Christmas movie that I must watch every year, and I usually watch it on Christmas Eve or close to Christmas Eve. Used to watch it on Christmas Eve because it airs like 2 or 3 times on Christmas Eve, like when we used to have cable. Is A Christmas Carol, or I think it's called Scrooge. It's the one with Alistair Sim. I feel like I've talked about that before. I just feel like Alistair Sim plays Scrooge perfectly. Like, I can recite so many lines from that, or hear his voice like in my head, how he says everything and like how he acts, like when he like wakes up in the morning and he's like, ooh, he like scares his maid and he's like crazy, or like, yeah, just there's so much about that particular movie that I don't know, it's very nostalgic to me, and I watch it every year. A Christmas Story, it's funny, I don't love that movie. It kind of scared me when I was younger, and I feel like it's a bit scary. Like, I don't like, there's so many parts of that movie I don't like that creep me out. My brother loves it. It's his favorite movie. Like when I think it's Santa puts his foot on the kid's face to like push him down the slide, then the kid with the tongue on the on the pole, and then the scene when like the kid beats him up and there's like blood everywhere in the snow. I mean, I was only like 6 when that movie came out, I think. I mean, it's funny, I like it now, but I still have like that feeling. I know that feeling that I used to have where I was like, ooh, that movie. But I mean, like, Ralphie's so cute. Like, my favorite part is like where he's doing the decoder thing and then he's so disappointed. And like the pajamas. Like, there's so many funny things about that movie. What other Christmas movie? I can't think of. Oh, the other one that I watch a lot is, and I'm not a big romantic movie person, is Serendipity. I don't have a powder here. I don't have a face powder. I'll be right back. So just using my Sehpora powder. Actually, yeah, no, we're gonna put this on all over. Yeah, Serendipity is a funny movie though. Like, I like it. I mean, you get the couple that like should have been together and then they try and meet. I just kind of like some of that, like the elevator, the kid with the elevator makes me laugh. I like the skating part. I like how they're out skating. Just little parts of that, but I think about it now. So you think about it, like, so the couple's gonna get married and then he's like, no, there's somebody else I want to be with. Like, if I were his fiance, I'd be like, like, they kind of gloss over that half. I mean, the other guy, it's a little bright. There, is that okay? I think that's a little bit better. I'm gonna go in with the True Match Lumi Bronze It. I'm enjoying this now that I like have no tan and I'm a bit paler, and I just feel like this is a much more subtle bronzer and it's more flattering, I think. I think this is an easier bronzer. Like if you're not great at bronzer, this bronzer might be better for you. Like if you kind of feel like you can't blend bronzer very well, but you still want to try it. I feel like this one just kind of blends in a bit more naturally. Because it's not super strong. But yeah, like the guy, jeez, I mean, he's a ding dong, and he clearly, I think he likes the idea of his girlfriend, but he doesn't seem to really care for her. He's really into the music and the band. Lars, I think that's his name. So yeah, like you don't really have the same sort of like feeling, but like the more I think about this, like now with like, you know, as I'm older and I think about the other half of that, like, yeah, you want this couple to get together because you feel like they're meant to be together. Like they're destined to be together. But then it's like, wait a minute, what about the fiance that spent years with this guy building a relationship? Like, what? I don't know. Elf is another good one. I wouldn't say I love Elf, but I really like it. I think it's a funny movie and like there's funny elements to it. Oh, I forgot to, I was going to do this like at the beginning. This is the Too Faced. Wow, we're doing a whole Too Faced, not sponsored. Too Faced Lip Injection Extreme. This is something I've been doing lately because I pulled this out as my monthly lip picks. I put this on first thing before I do my makeup. And then like you'll see like it starts like plumping the lips, and then I wipe it off and do my actual lip product after I've done the rest of my makeup. And I've been kind of enjoying that because it kind of gives my lips a bit of color. I mean, the effect doesn't last all day, but I feel like it lasts like a few hours for sure. So we'll let that do its thing, and let's keep going. So blush, I'm going in with the Merit blush in the shade Cheeky. This is a bit of like a cooler toned pink. I feel like this is a nice winter color. I think it applies fine over the foundation and the powder. I mean, Elf is super cute. There's parts of Elf that are kind of annoying though. Like sometimes I find, what is his name? Will, oh my god, last name, whatever. Will Ferrell, is his name? Yes, Will Ferrell. Sometimes he can kind of annoy me. I think he's a little too much, but yeah, the Elf, it's pretty cute. Like, I know him. I'm trying to think of what other movies, Christmas movies. I'm really like blanking on the Christmas movies. What other movies do I watch? Miracle on 34th Street. Don't ever watch that. I think I've seen it once. What is the other one? There's another one. And I'm like, yeah, don't really watch that one either. The one with the sisters. White Christmas. I really like that because that's a song. Sister, sister. I like that movie. It's super cute. Nice classic Christmas movie. Okay, I'm just going in with some eyeliner. This is the Wet n Wild. Just their basic, it's called Breakup Proof Waterproof Retractable Gel Eyeliner. I'm pretty sure, what is that? That's George Clooney's aunt in that movie. You know what movie I haven't watched in a really long time? It's Home Alone. Maybe I will watch that. And then there's the whole thing is Die Hard, a Christmas movie. Whatever. Again, I don't think I've watched that recently either. Curious to know, like, yeah, is there something I'm missing? Is there another Christmas movie? Am I totally, I feel like I'm blanking. I feel like there's movies that I'm not thinking about. I laugh at like the Hallmark. I forget who posted a picture, but they had like all the screenshots of like the Hallmark Christmas things, and it's hilarious. It's like they're all the same. And I mean, if that's what you love, if you love those, like that's great. They're not my thing. I mean, because so the favorite kind of shows I like, I mean, I've watched them over and over again. It's like Perot, Father Brown, like those British mystery shows. There's some I don't like, but like they're all the same formula. They're all the same thing. Midsummer Murders. Like, who wants to live in those villages? There's so much murder. But yeah, it's very funny how like cookie cutter all of those movies are, and like it's like, oh, rich city girl gets amnesia, goes to a small town and falls in love with her high school sweetheart. That kind of stuff. I guess we all know that's not very realistic. What other traditions do I have? So I do try and watch some Christmas movies. I like to bake if I can. Sometimes I don't because it's a lot of effort to bake. I would say the biggest effort is getting the ingredients. If I had all the ingredients at home, I didn't have to go out and figure out what ingredients I needed to get, I would definitely bake more than I do. The other thing too is it was a little bit easier when I lived at home and baked, but being here like by myself, if I bake, I eat it, and that's a problem. I don't want to eat all of it. So I try and bake. If I bake, I'll bake closer to Christmas so that I can give this stuff to like my dad and my brothers. So I'll probably do a little bit of baking this year. I always make chocolate chip cookies, which are not Christmassy. I make them all year round, but sometimes I add in like the red and green M&Ms to make them Christmassy. Or I'll like add a bit of like spices like nutmeg and cinnamon to just kind of like give them a different vibe. And then I bake. So the one thing I sometimes make is these like little shortbread. They're like little balls with the cherries in them. Something my mom used to make. I make those sometimes. They're pretty good. And then the other thing that I try and make is this Rocky Road. I can't find the recipe that my mom used to use, which drives me crazy. I found some similar. So she used to make, it's basically like melted. The top is just like melted chocolate, I think a bit of butter, and you use the rainbow marshmallows. That's the top part. And I find that part of the recipe and like variations pretty easily, but hers always had a bottom part with like a graham cookie crust, and I can't find that specific recipe. I found a few that are close, but it's not the same. And I've tried making it a couple times. I don't do a very good job of it. It doesn't quite turn out the same, but I keep trying. So one of these years I will get it sorted. The other thing that I make, and again, I've been perfecting the recipe here and there. And I found a recipe that's sort of similar online. I used to call them horses' doives, not realizing that was hors d'oeuvres. My dad saying hors d'oeuvres like a anglophone. But they're basically, it's like you take bread, you sort of cut it in a circle, you use like a glass to cut it in a circle, and then you just sort of put that in a muffin tin, and then you put a mixture of like ground beef, onion soup mix, cheese, I'm not sure what else, but basically like a little ground beef mixture, and they're so good. They're like addictively good. I gotta remember to make those. I kind of forgot about those actually. I need to remember to make those. I need to find where the recipe I have for that is, because I'm pretty sure last year I made them a couple of years. Like I've made them in a few years in a row, and last year was the year that I got it, but I don't know if I wrote it down. So if I didn't write it down, I should do that this year. Yes, I have terrible eyebrows. I know. Don't judge. I used to when I was younger. So especially when I got around that cynical time, when I was like mid-20s, early mid-20s, I used to work. I worked like every Christmas. I never took the holidays off. I would get Boxing Day off because everybody gets Boxing Day here the day after Christmas. Well, most people, unless you're retail. So I would get that day off, and then I would just work because I didn't want to deal. I didn't want to think about like being sad over Christmas or just like unhappy or any of that kind of stuff, which I had no reason to be unhappy. But again, it was that whole expectation of thinking that Christmas should be like this Hallmark postcard, and working, well, especially if I worked, some of the jobs I worked like tech sports, you would get extra money because you're working like holiday days. And I actually don't mind that. Like, I don't always work over the holidays now. Like, I want to say it was a few years ago, like when I started I work for the government now. And it wasn't till like the second or third year I started working for the government, that was the first time I ever took like the whole week off between Christmas and New Year's. I'm like, I've never done this before, except for when I was in school. So it was very different. I want to put a little bit of shadow under the eyes, which this is probably going to end up being messy and fallout, but we're going to do it anyway. Yeah, I don't mind working over the holidays because it usually is, I was going to say honestly, not saying it, I didn't mind working over the holidays because it was usually quiet. Like, it usually was not a big deal. Only the one job, it was a bit frustrating because that was like the client's sort of downtime. So it was a great time for them to do like updates to their systems. Like, I work in IT. And so it ended up being busy for us because obviously when they do updates, things go wrong. And who do they gotta call? Tech support. So that was always a bit frustrating. But for the most part, it was always quiet. I didn't mind working those days because it was generally quiet. A lot of times people were a little bit slower. Like when they would call you, they were like I don't know if they were like maybe holiday hungover, so they were always just a bit like meh. Okay, to pause filming there for a second, there's a certain apartment when they run water, it's really loud in here. Like I can hear it like when I'm editing and I'm like, oh, that's really annoying. I tune it out. I don't really notice it, but I notice it when I'm editing, so I'm trying to pay attention to it a bit more. I did throw a little bit of this on. This is the Anastasia Dip Brow Gel, I think in like medium brown. But yeah, let's just do the lips. So you can kind of see like they look, if the camera wants to focus on me today, they look a little juicier than when I started. And then I'm just going in with the Bodyography Black Currant Liner. This is again as part of my lip project this month. As you can see, this is a stiff lip liner that doesn't give a lot of pigment. I find the pigment's also harder to notice, or it's not as drastic now that I've done that Too Faced thing. And then I'm just gonna throw on, I was gonna throw on this. This is the Clinique Black Honey, but I'm gonna throw this on. It's a Revlon Super Lustrous Lip Gloss in, I think this is Supernatural. And there we go. That is the final look. Again, my eyebrows are terrible. This is a pretty intense look for like an everyday look. This is definitely like party look. Okay, I'm just gonna like fix the hair, maybe throw on some earrings, and we'll wrap this video up. All right, there we go. There's the final look. Put some pretty earrings on because I feel like I'm going to a holiday party. I don't know if I like this lip color. I feel like I would go with something a bit more cool toned. This turned out a little bit warmer than I expected. Same with the blush. I did not put highlighter on. Let's put some highlighter on. This guy, Pretty Vulgar, that's the highlighter that I want to put on. Again, I was kind of pulling out some makeup that I haven't worn in a while. And this was one of them. I feel like I'm ready to go to a holiday party, which I work for the government and we don't have holiday parties. We're not allowed. If we do have a holiday party, you pay for your own meal, or it's like a potluck and you bring something in. And even then, like I feel like that hasn't happened in a long time, like a potluck style. But yeah, I do miss past jobs where we've had some really fun, like pre-government jobs. We had some fun holiday parties. Some really bad ones too, but some good ones in there. But yeah, that's the look. I really like how this eyeshadow turned out. It's very intense. Who knew you could get this kind of look out of this palette? This is the only palette I really used except for that beige color to set my eyeshadow. Everything else was these two shades and this shade right here. Who knew that this was a white peach palette? Like, if I posted this look and said, what palette do you think I used to get this look? Most people would not guess this palette. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to give a little thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel here in Toronto, Canada. As I've mentioned in some previous videos, I'm doing like a few giveaways over this month. It's just gonna be random. There's about 3 boxes of makeup that I will randomly select some people over this month to send those out to. So if you want to enter that giveaway, the link is down below in this video, and I'm going to try and remember to put that link in every video for this month until the giveaways are gone, and then I'll remove that information. But yeah, anyway, I hope you are doing well, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye.